Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I seriously have no time to do a video today, but I am so in the mood to do a video. And I came up with something. I've been thinking of things all day, off and on, and then I got this idea. And I have partially started it, but I haven't finished it. I'm just turning the camera on now because, I don't really have time to do the whole thing twice. So let's just get started. First of all, I am using flannel. Now, I just have weird prints of flannel because one of my suppliers, where I don't get to pick my prints, once upon a time he said, I have a bunch of flannel, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, give me whatever it was, 3 yards of each print or whatever. And then, I really didn't bother to try to sell it because the shipping is more, because flannel is heavy. But I want to start showing some flannel quilts or flannel blankets because I'm not a fan of quilts, with the batting and quilted and all that. So flannel's a good option for people who don't want to deal with batting because it makes a blanket heavier than if you're just using quilt cotton. And flannels with prints won't pill like solids. So stay away from solid flannels. This is hopefully going to be the easiest strip quilt in the world. We're going to give it a try. You can make your strips any width you want, any length you want. It can be full width of the fabric if you want. I have half width of the fabric only because I'm just doing a video and I'm just showing you. And after I cut these, I remembered that I wanted these to be very easy to turn because we're making some tubes. I did one and it was easy enough to turn, but maybe 5 inches wide, you'd be able to just stick your hand and arm right through. You could even say 6 inches wide if you wanted, 7 inches wide, whatever width you want. But you're going to make some strips and you want it, I would say at least 5 inches wide. You're going to take your 2 strips. First, because it's a step I made up, we're going to take each end and fold it down about 1/2 inch. Now we can glue that if we want, or you can go press it. I think my glue stick is kind of dry, so I'm just going to go to my iron and I'm going to fold each end about 1/2 inch down and press. I did that. Now my strips, I started with 20 inches long, so after I folded the 2 ends, I should have 19 inches because I folded about 1/2 inch on each end, and I do. And if it's off by a little bit, well, we always have some leeway with the stretch. We can cheat and stretch. We're just going to put these right sides together and we are going to sew about 1/4 inch in. It's not like the most important thing in the world, but if there's anything to pay attention to in this, we do want to keep our ends as even as possible. So if you use a tag under your foot, that lifts your foot up and this should slide in easy. Or you can put a pin, or you can, if you don't use a tag, you can start in a little bit, go forward, and then back up, and then go back forward. I'm just going to hop on and hope for the best. You want to make sure that your little flaps are, folded like you folded them. I am doing a back stitch because we're going to be turning this stuff. And when you get near the end, you can just match up your ends, and if you have to just stretch it a little bit, I give you permission to do that. And back stitch, and let's hop off. Do the same to the other side. Did it. Now, see, even though I started with 4 inches, I can't put my hand in there, but it was really easy to turn. So I'm just going to pull it all through like this. Now, I probably wouldn't want to do this if it was full width of the fabric. So that's why I said 5, maybe even 6 inches. I think I'll be doing more with this, so we'll play with other widths another time. Now I'm just going to roll this a little bit. See, your ends now, even though they're loose inside, they're ready to be finished. I really think that I'm going to like how this comes out, I hope. And this would all soften up after being washed. I have one tube. I have another tube, and it's yellow and, well, pink and white. So now I'm going to take a pink side and a white side, and I'm just going to butt them up against each other, and we're going to zigzag. That is how we're going to put these strips together. So what's cool about that is you can just add strips just like quilt as you go, like a rag quilt. You never have a whole bunch of fabric under your sewing arm. No batting. We didn't have to deal with that. And if your strips are very wide and you just don't want the fabric all loose, you can always sew a line down the center. But we're going to do zigzag. And I'm just going to put these as even as I can. I'm not going to worry at all if there's some stuff that's not even up here, because we're going to go around with a zigzag to close these ends anyway. But since it's a little bit more complicated here, I'm going to hop on like this. Widest zigzag you have. You can practice on some scraps to see how long you want your stitch. I don't like it when it's too far apart, but I don't like it where it's so close together that it looks like, I don't know, some kind of scar or something. So I'm kind of just going, I don't know, I'm on like 12. Oh my God, I'm scared all of a sudden. I've just got these butt up, and I'm going to do a couple stitches here. Whoops, I'm not on zigzag. What's wrong with me? Yeah, I think I'll like that. And now I'm going to back stitch. And I don't have to worry about getting right to the end. Like I said, we're going to go across that. All right, I'm just going all the way down. It's not that hard to do. You can just squish them together and make sure your needle goes on each side. I have a foot with that little split, 2 toes. So I put that split right on the part that I've bunched up together. You know what? I could have done this with my clear thread. That was my intention. That's why it's out here. But I didn't. So let's just see how it looks with white thread. Let's see how I did. I love this so much. I'm not a fan of zigzag. I really am not. And I could have used, you know, I don't know, I guess white was the best for this. I can't hardly see it. See the zigzag? This is not, you know, stiff. It's still got plenty of flexibility to it. And with wider strips, it would even be more flexible. But this is an okay width, except if you're doing full width of the fabric. I do think it would be a little bit harder to turn. I don't like turning stuff. Now we have our ends. Now let's just pretend that I did a whole bunch of strips and put them all together. We have this going on. And my thought is we're just going to zigzag across. Or it could be a straight stitch. I'm thinking zigzag, only because it will go with what we've done already. And you have a choice. You could just zigzag on the fabric, or you could zigzag to where it comes off the fabric and catches the end. I'm just going to stay on the fabric, and it will catch anything that needs to be caught. Now, see, I'm not even up there on the white. Do you see that? Where are you? Where are you? See, it's sticking out. I'm not going to let that ruin my day. All right, I would need a little bit of practice with that because I forgot that that bottom one wasn't tucked in as far as it could be. Okay, so this is the good side. This side is pretty good. And this is the not as good side. But my goodness, for a blanket for a child to lay on the floor with, or a pet or whatever, I think this is a very simple way to make a blanket. Don't you? I guess that's it. I just wanted to show you this. Oh, I still have to do this end. Let's do that so I'll feel accomplished. Okay, I already did a better job with the sewing part, but I still have a little bit of an issue with the ends coming out even. And again, I'm not really worried about that. And if you wanted to, you could bind that. All right, I hope you learned something new, that you're willing to at least give it a try. And I will look to do more stuff like this because I have a lot of ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.